Today, ComixFM brings to you Godzilla vs Spider-Man, where the god of monsters goes on a head-on collision with our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and Venom. Smash that subscribe button and let's dive in. Spider-Man swung through New York in his new black suit, thrilled to be back after some time away. Admiring the city, he joked about crime and decided to take action himself. Spotting trouble, he leapt into battle, testing out his new threads. He clashed with the Shocker, who taunted him for wearing black, claiming it suited a funeral. Spider-Man replied he had just returned from a secret war across the universe, where he picked up this alien costume. As they fought, Spider-Man noticed Shocker's vibro gauntlets had been upgraded, but so had his own powers. His new suit generated its own webbing, was more durable, and even transformed into casual clothes on command. Something Peter was clearly thrilled about. Shocker bragged about showcasing his destructive force, while Spider-Man mocked his obsession with branding. Spider-Man remembered swinging through the city with Black Cat, who flirted and admired his new suit. She secretly thought about her new bad luck powers gifted by the Kingpin. Meanwhile, Spider-Man continued battling Shocker, mocking his lack of improvement. Down at the Daily Bugle, Jonah Jameson yelled at Peter for quitting college and demanded better photos to compete with Eddie Brock. Peter shrugged it off, thinking life was still good, until a massive roar interrupted. He looked up and froze as Godzilla rose from the Hudson River, towering over the city. Spider-Man identified him as the King of the Monsters, recalling Godzilla's previous fight with the Hulk. As chaos erupted, Spider-Man and Shocker agreed to call a timeout. Spider-Man webbed Shocker up and ran to help civilians while Godzilla stomped through the streets. Then, to Peter's shock, he spotted Mary Jane at his apartment window. Realizing the monster was heading straight there, he yelled for her to jump as Godzilla closed in. As Godzilla smashed through the city, Spider-Man grabbed Mary Jane just in time, swinging them away from collapsing buildings. She screamed his name in panic, while Peter thought she had probably come to surprise him. Trying to reassure her, he pretended not to be Peter, but she immediately called him out, saying she had known for years he was Spider-Man and wasn't an idiot. Shocked, Peter struggled to focus as they swung to safety, with Mary Jane reminding him that her revelation wasn't the priority right now. Landing on a nearby rooftop, Spider-Man checked if she was all right, but before they could talk further, Black Cat appeared, worried he might have been hurt. She embraced him, calling him lover, which made Mary Jane glare in disbelief. As the two women exchanged sharp comments about each other's outfits, Peter tried to calm them down, insisting they could argue later, preferably when they weren't about to die. The trio turned as Godzilla loomed closer, and Spider-Man decided to distract the monster, while asking Black Cat to take Mary Jane to safety. Spider-Man swung toward Godzilla, keeping its attention away from the civilians. The monster's size and fury made every move dangerous, but Peter joked to himself, singing and taunting to stay focused. He tried leading Godzilla toward the less populated west side, barely avoiding its jaws and claws. Suddenly, Godzilla let out a thunderous roar that struck Peter like a physical blow. The sound tore through him, and the symbiote suit began to scream, alive and in agony. The black suit ripped away from his body, writhing and lashing out toward Godzilla. Peter watched in horror as the symbiote latched onto the kaiju and began spreading across its body. He realized the suit wasn't just alien fabric, it was alive and responding to his thoughts, possibly trying to help. But instead, it merged with Godzilla, forming a monstrous hybrid. Covered in black tendrils and the white spider emblem, Godzilla became Venom Godzilla. Peter realized his mistake. He had brought an alien organism to Earth, and now it had bonded with the most powerful creature alive. Deep within, the Venom Godzilla's consciousness linked with the King in Black, the ancient god of symbiotes. While the King reveled in chaos and corruption, Godzilla's instincts resisted, seeking to cleanse the planet of threats. But the symbiote's corruption spread, and in its confusion, Godzilla lashed out, attacking everything in sight. Black Cat and Mary Jane evacuated civilians as jets bombarded the monster. Peter, guilt-stricken, vowed to fix his mistake, even if it meant dying trying. As Venom Godzilla rampaged through Manhattan, the symbiote fed on Godzilla's immense energy, growing more powerful with every moment. Tanks fired uselessly while the monster's corruption spread. Yet deep within, Godzilla's will fought back, struggling to resist the alien influence threatening to consume the planet. Amid the chaos, Spider-Man returned, feeling nauseous and terrified of what he had to do. Standing on a floating disc rigged with tech from Shocker's gauntlets, he prepared his next desperate move. Realizing the symbiote had reacted violently to Godzilla's roar earlier, Peter hypothesized it was weak against sonic vibrations. He recalibrated Shocker's gauntlets to match the frequency of Godzilla's roar, and in his old red and blue suit, decided to use sound as his weapon. Taking aim, he charged forward on his improvised hovercraft, joking grimly that it was time for some alterations. Hovering above the battlefield, Spider-Man blasted the venom-corrupted kaiju with sonic waves, yelling, E.T. go hell! The attack resonated violently through the monster, causing the symbiote to splatter and shriek in agony. Watching from below, Mary Jane and Black Cat exchanged quips, Mary Jane teasing that humor must be what kept Spider-Man and Cat together, while Felicia replied she preferred the silent type. As the sonic waves intensified, Spider-Man's body endured tremendous strain. Every cell screamed in pain as he pushed his weapon to maximum output. The backlash sent him plummeting toward the ground, his body battered and nearly unconscious. As he fell, Peter thought only of how he hoped he had done enough to fix his mistake, before being caught in Godzilla's massive hand. The king of the monsters, now freed from the symbiote, cradled Spider-Man gently. Godzilla roared one last time, unleashing his atomic breath to burn the remaining symbiote into ash. Snow-like residue fell over Manhattan as peace briefly returned. Exhausted, Spider-Man looked up and joked that he wished he had his camera. Days later, Eddie Brock scavenged the ruins for photos of Spider-Man and Godzilla's battle. He mocked Peter and gloated that publishing the photos would ruin him. But as he celebrated, a surviving fragment of the symbiote slithered up his leg and enveloped him. Eddie screamed as it consumed him, transforming him into something monstrous. From the shadows, the newly reborn creature roared, declaring itself God Venom. That marks the end of the third encounter, my monsters. Thanks for watching. ComixFM will be back with Godzilla vs X-Men next. Till then, stay tuned and spread the word about our channel, and keep buying comic books.